So hello fellow Earthlings, this is Earthling 6455463728, and this is Auto Mechanic Horror Stories number 4. So today I figured I would tell another story about when I managed to wreck the inside of my car door, and I took it to a mechanic to get the window fixed. So basically, I locked myself out of the car, and I didn't want to pay to get a locksmith to come and open it. So I used a clothes hanger and a wire clothes hanger, and I messed about inside of the door. You know how you can force something between the glass, and there's usually a bit of rubber where the glass goes into the door. So I messed about inside of there until the door opened and I got in, and from that point on I started having trouble winding up the window, or winding it down for that matter. And I didn't do anything about it. I had the book from the car, but I guess I felt that I didn't really want to be bothered to fix it myself, and that was a mistake on my part. But I still went ahead and at some point decided, okay, let me just take this to a mechanic and try to get this thing, let him repair it and try to get it fixed. So incidentally, I took it to the mechanic who had tricked me with respect to the PCV valve. I don't know if it was before or after. Again, he was really close to where I went to school, so it was convenient, even though he was not obviously trustworthy. So the guy was pretty busy, so he told me that I should leave the car at his garage and he would take a look at the inside of the door when he got a chance. So I did that. Now mind you, I knew how to open and get the inside of the door open. I knew how to take off the mechanism that allowed you to get inside the door. I just didn't want to go through however difficult it was going to be to do that. I can't remember if I had done something before and it was just difficult, so I just didn't want that headache. At any rate, I left it there for the guy to attend to, and I came back later in the evening and he basically told me, yo, this is really messed up. You're gonna have to get a whole new door. There's nothing that we can do. You really did a good job on this. However, because I guess I mentioned to him that was what happened, that I'd use a clothes hanger, and that's how it ended up like that. So out of curiosity, and because I didn't really trust him exactly, which again seems really silly that I keep going back by somebody I didn't trust, but I asked him, so how is it that you opened up the door? You know, I never told him that I had a book or anything. So he's like, well, just around here. And he proceeded to go to a common place where you would open up the door. But I knew it wasn't there. So I'm like, well, show me exactly how is it that you did it. And he couldn't do it. He couldn't open or show me how to do it, because what you're supposed to do, it's one of these older like turning door handles where you have to turn it with your hand. It's not automatic. And what you have to do is you get a piece of cloth or something and you push it up along the door, between the door and the handle, and that pushes up this little plastic clasp that allows you to then take off it's a metal clasp, I think, or am I thinking of my mother's car? And then that allows you to pull off the handle and then start to get the door off. But he didn't know how to do it. So I realized, yeah, he was just being lazy and wanted me to buy an entire new door that probably would need to get repainted because you couldn't get the same color door as my car. And yeah, it wasn't that much of a horror story because I didn't have to go through the whole lengthy thing of doing that. I don't know if I just went ahead and tried to fix it on my own later on, because at some point I had a problem with that car, and try as I might, I couldn't get it fixed. So I just kind of, instead of going back by this guy one more time, I just kept trying to fix it myself. I changed the spark plugs, I changed the cables to the spark plugs, I changed the distributor cap, because that's what they had on that, a couple of things, and nothing was working. So yeah, the car just sat at the side of the road there, because I did not want to, well, it wasn't all about him. I just had a foolish idea that I shouldn't be paying to keep the car going, and that, you know, things were breaking too often, and I just needed to perhaps leave the car alone. But of course, in retrospect, that wasn't smart. I mean, if I bought a brand new car, I'd have a car payment obligatory, whether the car was working or not. I'd have to pay it off. So to be able to pick and choose when I wanted to fix something in a particular car, as if it was a car payment, was really a lot better. So I only thought that afterwards that, yeah, you know, I probably shouldn't have just left it there. But anyway, here's another story. So there was, I guess I was my mother or someone else was driving her car, and this was fairly recently. Is it 6 years ago? I'm not sure. Anyway, the car made a noise like poop, like something had blown in it, and it stopped running. So I went, you know, this is a guy really who, the person who had taken care of it was really a guy who I kind of trust him, and I don't mind, even though he makes mistakes, I don't mind his mistakes because he's cheap and he's kind of fair. He never tries to pull one over on me. If he makes a mistake, he mightn't say, hey, I made a mistake, but I've seen that he's tried to make amends in his own way. Like I realized that in one instance, he's like, no, I'm not going to charge you for any labor for this. I'm just charging you for the part. And when I thought about it, and I thought about the sequence of events, I realized, okay, he probably realizes that he made a mistake. He didn't put in something that he was supposed to, and this is him trying to fix it without having to say, yeah, I messed up. So I kind of trust him anyway. But like I said, the car had this little mini explosion under the hood, and I went to take a look at what it could be. I think it was before we called him to say, hey, can you come take a look, because we couldn't get the car over to him. And when I went to take a look, I realized that one of the spark plugs was not screwed in. And when I examined where it should have been screwed in, for whatever reason, I don't know what he was thinking, but there was a tube that was screwed in where the spark plug should have been screwed in. And I imagine, because it was out, that the spark plug was shoved or pushed into that tube, because the tube itself didn't have any threading for the spark plug to be screwed into. So I don't know what his thought process was, because what I did was then I unscrewed the tube that was screwed into the engine, and then I just screwed the spark plug into where it was supposed to be instead. And after that, there wasn't any problem. So I really don't know if he was having a bad day, he wasn't thinking right, maybe there was something that I couldn't see or understand for him doing that. But all in all, it wasn't really a horrible thing. Yes, the car stopped working, But he's come through on other occasions, like on Christmas Day. Even my mother drove a car a particular place, and she couldn't get it started, and she was able to call him, and he came through, and he was nice about getting our car started, and on other occasions as well. So I'm able to overlook his mistakes because they're mistakes. They're not attempts to fool me, or they're not attempts necessarily that I can perceive to take shortcuts or be lazy or whatever the case was. There are a couple there's one instance where I was trying to get my mom's car's brakes fixed, and he didn't fix them, or he said there was nothing he could do when I went the first time, and then I hit somebody, and then my mom took it over to him, and he somehow got the brakes to work at that point. But I'm able to overlook that because, like I said, most of the time he's a genuine guy, and he tries to fix anything that he did wrong on his own. So I might have to, like I said, see, oh, he made a mistake here, and fix it on my own. But it's not something where I'm thinking, oh, this MF took all this money that he asked for, and he didn't fix the thing, and now I have to fix it, and oh my God. So it's not like that. I don't feel bad about him because I feel like he's a good guy at heart. So anyway, guys, you can wish me lucks. You can like or unlike. You can comment, subscribe, and or share. Peace.